Today we're looking at the first conditional. How do we form it? What are the common mistakes? Blah de blah de blah de blah. You're gonna learn everything inside today's lesson. Are you ready? Hi, I'm Greg, and this is your complete guide to the English conditionals. Click up there to watch the whole series over the next few weeks. I will be explaining everything you need to know about the 0, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, mixed and advanced conditionals in English. And this is what you're going to learn today. First, how to form it. Second, I will tell you when to use it. We will then look at how to use it in questions before looking at some common mistakes that students make when they use this grammar. So the structure in all conditionals consists of two parts of a sentence. One part begins with the word if, and the second part describes the result if that condition is true. The structure of the first conditional is this. If and the present tense in one part of the sentence, and in the other part of the sentence, the future with will. And the order of these two parts of the sentence is not important. You can change the order and the meaning is exactly the same. An example of the first conditional is, if you study hard, you will pass the exam. If you study hard, if plus the present tense to describe the situation, you will pass the exam. Future with will. And of course we can say you will pass the exam if you study hard. The order is not important. The important thing is that if goes with the present tense and the other part of the sentence is in the future with will. Okay, when do we use this structure? Well, we use it when the result of the condition could easily happen. It's very probable that it will happen. It's not a scientific fact that it will happen, but it's probable. So if you study hard, you will pass the exam. Again, it's not an exact science, but it's likely, it's probable. If it's hot tomorrow, I will go to the beach. Okay, it could easily happen. Maybe I'll stay in the garden. I don't know. But it's possible. So if it is hot tomorrow, if plus present tense, I will go to the beach. Future with will. You will be late if you don't hurry up. You will be late if you don't hurry up. Again, we have if plus the present, but this time we're using it in the second part of the sentence. If we compare this to the 0 conditional, which I talk about in that lesson, we can see that the first conditional talks about specific situations, not situations in general. No, specific situations. In my lesson on the 0 conditional, I said, if you don't eat, you get hungry. That's just a fact. It happens in general. However, if I was speaking specifically to my daughter, I would say, hey, if you don't eat, you will be hungry. This is a specific situation, so I use the first conditional. So that's the basics of the first conditional. However, we can be a little bit more advanced, and actually we can replace will with a few different things. The if part of the sentence is always in the present tense, but instead of will, we can use an imperative or verbs like can, must, might, may. So here are some examples using these alternatives. Go without me, that's an imperative, it's an order. Go without me if I arrive late. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know, that's an imperative. If you have, if plus the present simple, if you have any questions. You must book in advance if you want an appointment. Or if you want an appointment, you must book in advance. Okay, how do we form questions using the first conditional? Well, we put the will or can or must part of the sentence as a question. And remember, when we use these auxiliary verbs in questions, we just invert the order of the person and the auxiliary verb. So instead of you will, it becomes will you. Instead of you can, it becomes can you. So a question in the first conditional looks like this. Will you go to the beach tomorrow if it's hot? Okay, will you? That's all we do. We change the order of you will to will you. Will you go to the beach if it is hot? Can you tell me if she calls? All right, so you can, change the order to make a question. Can you call me? And then the if part of the sentence in the present simple. Easy. Okay, now a really common mistake in the first conditional is when students use will in the if part of the sentence. So instead of if you study hard, you will pass the exam, many students say things like if you will study hard. Listen, if you will or if I will is always going to be wrong. Always. One of my students told me an expression recently, if I will makes me ill. Okay, we don't want to use if I will because that makes me ill. It's always wrong. Don't use it. It's important to remember that the thing that might happen in the future, the condition, the part with if, this is in the present tense. If it's hot, if you study hard, if she calls, if I'm late. Present tense, but with the result, we use will. If it rains, I will stay at home. So as I said, that is a super common mistake. In fact, it's one of the mistakes inside my book. If you don't have that already, get it now. It explains all the most common mistakes that students like you make in English. It's free, get it up there. As I mentioned, this video is part of a series in which I'm teaching you all about all the conditionals in English. To watch all of those videos, just click there. So now you know how to use the first conditional in English. In the next video, you're going to learn how to use the second conditional in English. I'll see you then. Bye for now.